good old Tuesday. Hey, you know what? I am in a flare mood. I am going to go ahead and brew up some flare today and get that going. Hope everyone's well. This is just an impromptu live video. So if you hear crazy stuff in the background, dogs barking, neighbors drumming, cars whizzing by, okay, it's live. Y'all, you're watching Faith and Coffee Bean. My name is Tony. This is a brand new channel on YouTube. This is all about coffee and espresso and, kind of my espresso journey. I love finding things. One of the ultimate budget, really kind of things you can get right now is Flare Neo. This is the Flare Neo Flex version 2. This just came out. This has a gauge. It came out a couple months ago. It is a lot of fun. And the reason why I'm saying that is if you like stuff, geeky stuff like that, this is my home coffee setup here in my home office. If you like coffee, geeky stuff, definitely please join, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. But definitely please by subscribing, hang out with me. And I like to do these lives a couple times a week, where I'm just making coffee and goofing around. And it's cool to have you all along. So definitely a good thing. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I want to go ahead and get the brew chamber nice and hot while we're talking and while I'm getting some beans ground up. So definitely cool. You do with this particular model, you don't have. At least that's what Flair says you don't have to do. But I do find with good results, you definitely want to make sure that you are giving yourself the best options for sure. This is the Neo Flex. This is the main chamber. Here's the actual, this is the bottomless portafilter, and that was the shower head that just dropped out. Here is the actual mechanism that puts the pressure down on the coffee. So let me go ahead and get this nice and hot. When you actually get the flare, it does come with a really cool kind of stopper that you could put down. It's like a rubber stopper where you could fill it with basically your hot water. And that's what I'm trying to find right now. Here's all my little espresso tools. Hey, and feel free to go to my Amazon shop. I put a link down. Anything you buy on Amazon is going to help support the channel and help me buy my coffee. That's all that really comes down to. So I always appreciate that. And I put a lot of the goodies you see here, I have on my Amazon shop. So pretty cool. Okay. So let's get this thing nice and hot. And it is early for me, y'all. Very, very early. Not crazy early, but it's early enough. Just started my day. This is my first cup of coffee. So, you know how that goes. So I'm using 4700 for the temperature, for the water. Then the high setting, which is, I believe, 97 degrees. It's like 97 to 100, I believe. This uses a PID control system, so I know it's pretty consistent, which is, that's what you want. Okay. And I will not forget to put my shower screen on like I've done before. Don't want that happening. Oh my goodness. And I'm going to go ahead and measure out some beans. It's so crucial with this stuff that you take the time, get yourself a good scale, and, measure out your beans. There's just no other way to say it. I am going to be using Red Root coffee. It's a dark roast today. And they are a local roaster out of Virginia. I am shooting for basically about 11 grams. That's been like my little sweet spot. You definitely don't want to overfill this portafilter because it's going to be very counterproductive. Let's see, that's already 12. It's a little bit above where I want to be. 3. Oh, so close. There we go, right on the money. 11. And I do find that for the actual kind of brew fineness, I guess, or the coarseness of the grounds, what I use for my Casa brews or what I use for my DeLonghi ECP tends to be some of the best results. It's just very similar style. The one thing I'm gonna say when it comes to the flare, there is a little learning curve. You definitely do not give up, my friends. Do not give up. Spend that time to kind of learn what works for you. No other way to say it. I did a video not too long ago. I put it here on my page if you want to see it. And it's been pretty popular. It was my first time ever doing it. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I did not like my results. Go watch that video if you haven't already. Watch fail. After some trial and error, I've been getting some good results and really, really enjoying my time with the flare. So that's been pretty cool. I am using a Timor C3 Pro. This is my daily driver espresso maker. I love this grinder. If you're looking for a good budget grinder, it's a good way to go. You just got to use muscle power. Hey, it's really cool. It's environment friendly. And guess what? You can take it everywhere. And does it make a loud sound? Win-win. Get the flare out here. I have very limited space here in my coffee corner, so one of the things when I think about buying new stuff, I think about the space that I'm actually going to use it in. And as we can see here, the hot water's kind of pushing this down a bit. This is getting nice and hot. Almost there with beans. Almost there. Hey, Crystal, good morning. Good morning. I always like to make sure that, I give it an angle here because I want to make sure that I'm doing a slow feed, but also just make sure I get everything. Cool is that Flare does give a funnel right from the get-go, so that's something really awesome. They do give a funnel, they give a tamper. I've kind of had a little bit of a tamper experience. Finding a tamper that fits. I'm going to show you some little hacks that are just my own little weird hacks that I've had to do for the lack of a tamper. If you guys watch their social, they're coming out with this really cool Flare Go system where it's like this. I think it's polycarbonate metal, like doohickey. I don't know, but it's foldable and you can take it with you. And the tamper, I know it looks like it fits this particular espresso machine. So I've already asked Flare if they're planning on selling it for this. I want to know. That would be awesome. I'm going to go ahead and blind shake this just to make sure that I've got everything nice and fluffy. Sometimes it's just the fancy pants way of. Do you have to do this? No. But am I going to do it today? Yeah, why not? Get my blind shaker over here. So I'm making espresso, and I'm making espresso with the Flare Neo Flex. This is a lever machine, so it doesn't use any electricity. It uses your muscles to go ahead and provide that pressure for the espresso. So that is something cool. And I just got this. This just came out not too long ago. So it's been a pretty neat little experience kind of figuring out how to. If you have an espresso lover in your life, or you're an espresso lover, it is definitely a cool thing to do. So I went ahead and put on the actual funnel. So this is a funnel where, once you put your grounds in, it's going to help it kind of get in there. Shaker. And what this does is, a lot of times when you do your grinding, there is clumps that are built up, like a declumper. Also, the one thing that's really cool with the flare when you do this, there is something when you make espresso called WDT. And if you're not an espresso person, what that is it's this tool. And there's multiple versions of it. And what it's really used is to break up any clumps and help kind of promote that uniformity in the portafilter, so that, because you're applying pressure and water goes all different directions. You really want to make sure you have a good puck where it's even and there aren't any irregularities where the water could go in. Another tool a lot of people use is, it's the same concept, but it's a rounder tool, and that's kind of the difference. Now with the flare, it's not your normal espresso experience. It's a little bit different. So that's what I'm saying. There's a little tiny bit of a learning curve with it. And like I mentioned, the tamper that they give you is actually a catch tamper. What I've been doing is, for weight purposes, I've been using this tamper, so to make sure that when I push this down, it has that better tamper experience. And this has been really working for me. And it might seem goofy. It is a little goofy. The one thing I did find the other day is that this tamper and another tamper I have, the bottoms of it fit the circumference of this portafilter. When you do your tamper, you want to try to make sure that you're going straight. That's the best thing you do, because a straight bed is really what gives you the best success. And as we can see, I think I've accomplished that right there. It looks really good. There's, like I said, a little bit of a learning curve. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put a shower screen on the top. I'm going to get rid of my water, and I'm going to pull my first shot. It's pretty easy. Yeah, and more I do this, faster and faster I get at it. And it's not that you want to do it where, like, there's some race or something. That's silly. But what I'm saying is, it's nice to be able to get into a good workflow, good coffee workflow. Just making sure that this isn't wet right from the get-go. Okay. I like to make sure that the first hot water is the good hot water. Okay. And now, here's the fun part. You get in the hot water, putting it on, and pressing the espresso. Inside the brew chamber, and this is nice and hot now, there is a fill. I'm always going to recommend, do not go past that fill line. I've been an idiot a couple times in that. It's there for a reason, and the main reason is that you're giving yourself the best ability to make sure that this device, your piston, is lined up the right way, because when you push it down, you want to make sure your piston is lined up. Okay. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and get a cup and make some magic. This has a pressure gauge on it, right? And it's going to be a hard angle for y'all to see it, but it's going to tell me when I'm in the espresso zone. Okay, I'm hoping this works right here. Okay. I'm pushing down the lever. Now I'm trying to create what's called a pre-infusion. There we go. Got my first drops. There we go. Cool. Now I'm watching the gauge. Applying more pressure to get into that espresso zone. Right there. Now the one thing I've noticed about the flare is it tends to be a big cup of espresso. I'm one of those crazy people. There we go. Just want to make sure I got all the compression in there. This bag of beans I'm using is getting a little old now, so there isn't crema on here. I can tell you that right now, and I like a lot of crema. Who doesn't like a lot of crema, right? You want it nice and creamy. Let's get this out of the way. So when I look at it, I'm like, I don't see a lot of crema there. Don't see a lot of crema, but I already have a feeling this is going to be a nice little shot of espresso. Let's give it a little taste. Oh yeah, that's delicious. Really, really good. Definitely really full body, has a really good mouthfeel to it. I've had better shots because I've had better beans. Y'all, one of the most important things you can do is make sure you have good fresh beans. And not that these beans aren't crazy fresh, but I picked them up at the store, had them open. I've had the bag open for a while, and that's what kind of happens. And I can kind of show you the different results you get. Whoops. Basically doing it a couple different ways. I am really tempted to go ahead and just show y'all pulling a regular shot with the same beans, and using that type of stuff. It's sometimes that's a bigger. It's you can see a difference. I mean, and maybe that's kind of one of those things. I know a lot of people are like, they see stuff like the flare, and maybe you're a novice and don't have a lot of espresso. Kind of you've never owned an espresso machine. It might be your first machine. I hope it doesn't scare you away. This is a good, dependable machine. ECP DeLonghi, love it. Oh man, this is one of my favorites. I recommend this to everybody. It's a good way to get your feet wet, get into some espresso. It's nice and affordable. This is a 50 millimeter IMS basket. This is a 20-gram basket right here. There's a lot of cool stuff you can get. Hey, Melman, cool. So you're planning on buying Eureka. Oh, wow, that is awesome. Yeah, Eureka's are amazing. Y'all, if you're not already, go follow Tom's Coffee Corner and other great YouTubers out there. I know it sounds weird, but I've learned so much from watching folks like Tom or James Hoppin or Morgan with everything, because there's so much really, really cool stuff out there. I'm Now Capote is another really good YouTuber friend of mine who I just really love what he does. There's so many really cool ways to just get some really cool ideas on what to do, espresso wise, and great advice. I'm a boring dad who this is my work at home office, and it's not some fancy YouTube studio. I'm not a coffee guru, of course. I just like to make some espresso when I'm working. So definitely the good stuff out there. I'm going to go ahead and brew a really quick shot with the same beans, just so y'all can see the kind of two different ways of doing it. I'd like to kind of give you guys some options. And I'm going with about 20 grams right here. So it is a different, you would go from 11 to 20 because I got a 20-gram basket. Yeah, I know that I'm going to be buying an electric grinder here real soon. I have my eye on a couple grinders. I'm trying to think if I always like to go budget friendly. And one of the grinders I'm looking at right now is the Brew. It's the 5 that Brews does. And the reason why I'm thinking about it is it's small, compact, it's affordable. And that's kind of the main reason why I'm thinking about it. I was also a video about a grinder that you can get on AliExpress for like $30, and that's cuckoo crazy. But Lance had a great video, Lance Hendrick, about replacing the burrs. And I was actually thinking about doing that, going buying something real cheap, and then replacing the burrs, doing my own modifications, as goofy as that sounds, all for the sake of science of espresso, right? I'm going to tell you all right now, it's definitely worth buying something that's really affordable and good when it comes to your grinder. if you really can't afford one of those high-end, super expensive electric grinders, I know I said it earlier, but I'll say it again. Time War C3 Pro, what I'm using right here, is one of the most dependable hand grinders you get. The big difference is you're going to use your muscles. That's it. That's the difference. You have a great quality coffee. You know, this is a hand grinder that is 100% espresso worthy. I know because it's my daily drive I use for espresso. And, you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with using a hand grinder. It's just going to take time. It's going to take muscles. And you got to be patient. And, you know, sometimes in life, it's worth just having some patience. It's worth chilling out. For me, this coffee corner, like I mentioned, is in my home office. And it is really my escape that I could go to when I'm really busy at work. Sometimes when I'm having a really just crazy day, I'm an insurance manager. I run an insurance department. And it's not just like your car insurance, it's commercial insurance. We could be insuring a liner on the ocean or freight and all this other crazy stuff. So you can imagine that can be very intense. I find it's a great idea for me to just block out work sometimes, come over here to the coffee corner, spend some time, grind some beans. Some people work out. You know, some people work out and they run or they'll do some exercise. I work my arms out and make myself some coffee. Everyone needs an outlet, right? Oh, man. I'm not going to use the blind shaker for this one. I'm just going to do my little personal hack here. Use a catch cup, shake my grounds up. You know, like I mentioned before, do you need to do that? But I do it because it's what works in my workflow. Okay. Alrighty, so let's go ahead. Let's brew a good shot of espresso. Like I said, same beans, same ties, everything. Only difference is, remember I talked about that WDT? I'm going to use the round WDT distributor. And I do have links to this on my Amazon page. It always helps support the channel, so always look at that if you want to buy some on Amazon. I got a lot of cool stuff listed for you. Do some distribution. Love this distributor. It's just very well balanced. Gonna be using my YOLO Tamper. And I'm gonna be using my puck screen from M3 Embalmer. I have a link in the description. This thing is so cool. I love what 3 Embalmer does. So awesome. Okay. Use the exact same espresso cup. Let's go ahead and show you all this. Get nice and close. See, look at the shot mirror. So like I said, same beans, same scenario. Same grind size, everything's the same. Difference is there's more here. This is 20 grams. Okay. And I'm doing a double shot. So there is definitely more grams to the actual, you know, water that's going into it. So a little bit bigger of a shot. Just got this new riser, really dig it. Look at that, how gorgeous that is. That way more crema on that pull. Let's give it a little taste. Oh, that is a good shot. Oh, that tastes delicious. This is a dark roast, red roaster's coffee. Like I said, this is actually this bag's been open for a bit, and it still tastes great. Coffee doesn't last long around here, y'all. I go through coffee quite fast. Delicious. Yeah, really good. Hey, any way you brew your coffee, any way you brew your espresso, one thing I've always, you do it what's to your taste and to your liking. Remember, you're not, don't make your coffee for somebody on YouTube. Don't make it just because someone on social media or somewhere just said this exact way. I'm not saying that you want to have a good recipe, you want to have good practices, you want to be consistent, but that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, when coffee, make what's good for you, make what you enjoy. That is the number one mistake with anything in life, in my opinion, is when you're doing stuff for for other people. That sounds goofy, but it's true. Y'all, I really appreciate you hanging out with me. I'm going to go ahead and cut this video right here because I got to start my day. This has been a pleasure. I love doing this. I love doing these lives. If you like this, remember to like and subscribe. This is a new, so all the subscribers I have, I really appreciate you so much. If you like making coffee like this, hang out with me. My name is Tony. You're watching Faith and Coffee Bean. I am a former pastor. Occasionally, I do share some scriptures and some inspiration as well. So that's something you might get from me. I'm a little corny, but I like to, just make sure it's positive and hang out with everybody. So definitely appreciate you all. Have a great day. Drink some coffee and enjoy some life.